What's going on, my beautiful people? We are here. It's Thursday, another great day inside the Black Actors Studio. I have two amazing guests joining me in the studio today. You don't want to miss this, so stay tuned.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
Hey, there it is. What's up, everybody? Thursday, a great day here in Hollywood. Welcome inside the Black Actors Studio. I have two amazing guests joining me today in the studio. First off, he is a chief content officer of the On Channel, a producer and content creator, Brookshire Lafayette. And the next one joining me, Alexandra Gray. You've seen her on Empire, How to Get Away with Murder, Transparent, Drunk History. She's an actress, writer, director. Alexandra Gray, the great Black Actors Studio, is very proud to welcome.
Thank you.
Alexandra and Brookshire.
You
know, you like how I put the great on there?
That, the great.
The great, because you are great.
Album
Hey, what's good? How we doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah,
It's nice to have you two in the studio.
Yes.
You know, we don't have two guests on at the same time a lot here in the studio, so it's always a pleasure.
Can you handle it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can.
Black
You know what I'm saying?
excellence.
It's a lot of black excellence.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just making sure you can handle it.
Oh, I can handle that hat though. Let's talk about that
Nice.
hat for a second. That's
Yo,
dope.
this hat, it's in the Christmas spirit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Ed Hardy, I got to give vintage Ed Hardy, you know, a little
Hey,
in
there you
Bam,
go.
know
You
what
got
I'm
a whole
saying?
collection.
Hat guy. Yes, hat guy.
For those of you
know.
who can't see the hat that are
It
listening
is
right
on
now, is dope.
point.
It's
Thank
on
you.
point.
Appreciate that, my brother.
For sure.
I appreciate that.
So I would like to first, Alexandra, congratulate you
Yeah.
Thank you.
on Empire and How to Get Away with Murder. Like these are two of my favorite shows.
Thank
like
you.
it had to be incredible. So how was it being on set for those shows?
Gosh, it's been amazing. It's been a great year. I've been working a lot, and I'm so grateful for that. But it's been wonderful. I mean, this is actually my first time getting to work on shows that, have a predominantly African American cast, and
yes.
has a lot of diversity behind the scenes. And so it's been wonderful to just see all this magic on set, and everybody's been so wonderful. I feel like for the first time since Transparent, I feel like Empire has welcomed me to the family, so I feel a part of the family.
Oh,
so
that
it's nice.
is beautiful. And Brookshire, this year has also done you well.
Yeah. Been doing some things.
Doing
out
some
here.
things.
Doing some things.
Congratulations
out
on the
here.
On Channel.
Thank you, man. It's a big responsibility. But,
It is.
I'm enjoying being able to get, help content creators get their stuff out
Right.
there. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be in that green light position. And so to be able to green light the content, there's millions of content, thousands of content out here, and people want and need a chance.
Right.
Being able to give them that chance is very gratifying. I got to say, definitely.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And you also gave me that chance.
Yeah.
As I say
Speaking of
every
this
show. As I say every show,
Definitely,
you can find
we appreciate
season
you
one.
having us on here and working with us, man.
Of course.
Because it's needed. As I read with you, we have the new magazine coming out soon, the December issue, and you're in there, so everybody got to check that out. It's going to be hitting digitally, not tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow. But you said that you liked it. Your show was created from the Lipton show? What was it?
Yeah, James Lipton inside the actor studio.
Correct. And so that was one of my great shows as well. So I commend you, and I was like, I want that show. Yeah, so
let's add a little color to it and some flavor.
Right,
We good.
That part.
Now, in the studio, we always start from the beginning. Alexandra, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Hey!
Yes.
See, this is no coincidence.
house.
I have so many Chicago guests on. I'm from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
Oh,
it's
wow,
so many.
wonderful. Okay.
It's coincidence, okay? And I don't plan this.
773 or like
773.
I'm 708.
Okay.
From the suburbs.
Well, my granny is from 773.
I had 773, and then I moved to 815. You know that?
Oh,
That's
that's
the
like-
suburb, southupwest
Oh,
suburb.
I used
yeah.
to go to church in Kankakee.
Oh.
That's like 815, right?
Yeah.
Now, was it safe for y'all y'all to go to the grocery store? Did y'all parents tell you to put your shoes on just in case you had to run or fight when you left the house?
When I was younger. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that part.
I was 30 and my grandma still said, no, put your shoes on, tie them up tight. You never know if you gotta run. I'm like, Lord, Grandma, you live in Peel Hill. You should be fine, right?
Go to the candy store on the corner. No. Hey, Brookshire, where were you born?
I was born in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Big shout outs to Jayville. It's a big military town. Definitely. Love military town. The water close to, for those that don't know, it's between like New Bern, Raleigh, Charlotte. Well, not Charlotte. I'll say New Bern, Raleigh, Fayetteville-ish. Close to the water. Definitely.
Okay. And how was the dynamics in your house growing up?
Well, I have a military father, you know what I'm saying? He traveled a whole bunch, so Mom raised us mostly, you know, up until I would say probably about middle school. She raised 3 fine boys, you know. Big shout outs to my mom, Dukes, bro, and my dad, you know, been married 43 years. This December, actually, 43 years. Parents been married for 43 years, and so big shout outs to everyone there. So, you know, it was a little different back then, military family, but we were raised with a lot of love, a lot of care, and allowed us to be our own selves, and I appreciate that. I got a chance to do what I felt like doing, basically, and you know, and that's a beautiful thing. That's awesome. A beautiful thing. Definitely.
That's awesome. Alexandra, how was the dynamics in your household? Were you close to do you have siblings? Were you close to your parents?
I grew up in foster care, so
how was that for you?
I grew up in like 8 foster homes, so it you know, my kind of upbringing is a lot different. It's not so traditional, but yeah, you know, obviously, you know, I'm trans, so it was. You know, I don't know. I feel like back growing up, I really didn't have the language to figure out what it was. So I really didn't have to deal with, you know, the whole trans problem until I was in college, really. But yeah, I mean, it was, you know, everything that you hear about, you know, growing up in foster care. There's the abuse, there's the violence, the drugs. So yeah, I didn't have the best upbringing, but you know, everything's fine now.
Can I ask you a quick question? Did you celebrate like any type of traditional family stuff with the different foster homes, like around the holidays or anything?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's Christmases and stuff like that. But I think what it was like,
stuff like that, right?
But it was like a thing to where you always knew that you were different, like that you weren't. This wasn't your family, right? Like, unfortunately, those are the type of homes that I grew up in, where, you know, that is kind of how they made you feel. You may get a pair of socks on Christmas, and everybody else is getting like 10 and 15 gifts.
That's when I knew Christmas was over, when I started getting wrapped up socks and balls. I was like, okay, Mom.
Yeah, so I don't really have a sense of like what that's like, and maybe now that I'm, you know, an adult and will have my own family, maybe I'll start to
create your own tradition.
Create that what's like. Because right now, like Christmas and like Thanksgiving, I don't really like celebrate that. I mean, it's not that I don't want to, but you know, it's just. It's not something that I am like excited about, right?
Well, I got a plate for you, so don't worry about it.
I appreciate that.
You giving out plates and stuff. I ain't getting no plate, y'all.
Well,
it's okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's a new season.
I'm gonna bring some vegan dishes to the next one.
See, I remember one time speaking on that. I remember one time going out with a really good friend of mine, and it was vegan dishes all over the table, and people were just like, "Oh my God, just eating and eating and eating." That was the one time I was hungry after I left. I was hungry. I had to go get me a slice of pizza.
You ain't had none of my vegan dishes.
Right, is that what it is? Okay, go ahead
That's
and trick
what it is.
me. All right, no. It's good.
Alexandra, you are the second trans guest I had on the show. I had Ashton Grooms, which played Dior on Star. Amazing guest. And so what's some of these things that you went through, these experiences, how did it create you and mold you to the person you are today?
I think that, like, I always tell people, like, I never live with regrets, right? I can never be upset about anything that has happened in my past, because everything has led me to this moment. Right. To this moment sitting here with you guys, to everything that I'm doing career-wise, and maybe I'm making a difference in someone's life. So I feel like it's made me a stronger person because I had to go through that kind of stuff, and I was strong enough to get through it. You know what I mean? Like, and now maybe I can tell that story and sort of help someone else who may not feel like there's a way out. So I think that's the best thing that I can take away from just my experiences and my upbringing, is that I just have, you know, the potential to help somebody else get through
that's a great way to look at it. Brookshire, when did you get this this inkling that you wanted to start creating, that you wanted to be a part of that process?
Well, you know, I believe.
Let me clear the throat.
Clear this throat real quick so I can answer your question. I believe that we should always go from one level to the next, right? So I started off with being talent, doing what you're doing with, in similar situations here with hosting and things, and I still will go back to doing that because I believe in connecting with the people.
Former AfterBuzz host right there. Let's go.
Thank you. Big shout outs AfterBuzz, Maria, Keven, definitely. But I definitely believe on giving back, and that was one of the reasons why I started hosting, and giving opportunity just like what you're doing here with telling people stories, getting people familiar with the, what people have, not only their content that they put out there, but who they are, right? And so this was just another level in the progression of moving things along. Sometimes you get tired of waiting for someone to give you something. That was how it was when I used to model. Okay, back in the day, I went from the process of I was like, you know what? I want to go from saying, Mr. Brookshire, what size? You need to be this size. To Mr. Brookshire, what sizes are you? Because when they come to you and say, what sizes are you? That means you put something in place to put yourself in a leadership spot or in an ownership spot where now you're moving the show and helping flow the conversation. And that's what I wanted to do and plan on doing. The next goal is continuing to grow into investing, right? Being able to invest into not only those projects, because one of the things we do on the On Channel was we create original content. And so investing into these creative minds to give them not only a shot to be distributed, but also to get the project done. Because a lot of people need to get their project done. And so that's what motivates me as a producer, as a former talent agent, manager, working with getting things done and knowing everybody hit that same process of, okay, now that I've got it done, it might have taken 5-10 years sometimes to get a project done, a movie or TV show. Where do I put it? How do I put it? Or can I get it made? This idea that is brewing in my system. And so that's what motivated me, honestly, and continues to motivate me.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Alexandra, when did you get this start of wanting to perform? And did you go to any schools? Did you start training? When was that?
Well, I think growing up, I was always like wanting to be into the arts. Like I was like the only 8th grader who was in the musical Once on This Island.
Oh, man.
Like everybody laughed at me. I was teased. I was like the only black, and I was, a young male at the time. And so it was like, what are you doing liking this? And I really had a High School Musical moment because I ran track in high school and I was really good at it. I was like state champion. Like it was really, really good. I was just saying, okay. And so I was really good, but I also was on show choir. So it was like that thing where I felt like, Vanessa Hudgens, and I had to choose between like I remember my last race I ever did in high school. I raced and I had to get to the auditorium to go on stage to do show choir, which everybody thought was like so gay and all this stuff. But that was kind of how I really started. And then after college, and I got kicked out of my foster home, and my family wouldn't have anything to do with me. I was just like, I'm going to move to LA and, I'm going to be an actress. And so that's kind of how it started for me.
How was that transition to moving to LA? Because, a lot of people would love to hear your story of transitioning, moving to LA. It's pretty tough sometimes. And so how did that go for you?
You know what? I just put in my mind, I was like, I have nothing to lose. My family don't want me. I have no place to live. I'm living on the streets in Chicago. It's too cold. Literally, you have to literally just be fearless. And literally, I had nothing to fear at that point. So I came here knowing that I had no place to go. I was going to live in a shelter. And literally, I asked God, I said, give me a sign of that this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. And literally, as soon as I landed, I checked my email, and this was when Craigslist was like getting people jobs and stuff. And I had booked a movie. Literally, the night that I landed here, I had booked background on a movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe this was it. And so the second day I was here homeless, I was on a set working doing background, and I was like, that was my sign. And ever since, I mean, I've just been...
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't he?
Won't he do it?
Nice.
Brookshire, did you have any nicknames growing up?
Actually, one of my beloved aunties that transitioned not too long ago used to call me Juicy.
Juicy fruit, no.
Juicy, no. Yeah, but really, because when I was a kid, I used to spit all up in her face when she would be talking. I would, she'd be like, "Hey, baby, what's going on?" And I just started talking, and she'd just be wiping her face. And
Oh
she'd
my
keep
God.
asking me questions, and she'd call me Juicy. None of my aunties knew my name, I don't think, until I became an adult, because they'll try to call my name and call me all my other cousins' names. Curtis, Chris. I'm like, just call me Juicy. I mean, I might be 35. Just call me Juicy.
Juicy, wow.
Right.
That's an interesting. I gotta take a moment for that. I'm just gonna call you Juicy.
No, that's a family name. You call me Juicy, I'll be like, who this brother talking to? You ain't a part of the family. Brother.
Oh my God. So this question is for both of you. Were there any television shows or films or actors when you were growing up that really inspired you to be in this industry? Alexandra, I'll start with you.
I mean, I'm sure, no, I can't say that, right? Because I grew up in the hood, right? So you don't even think about, TV and actors and like what goes into making a television show. Like, you don't think about that stuff, right? Because all you know is the hood, right? Like all you know is just whatever you're watching. So to me, I didn't really have that, but I think that obviously, like, actresses like Laverne Cox, you know what I mean, and Isis King, who are, trans women I saw, that is kind of when I really was like, wow, I want to do what they're doing, right? I want to, be on television and be an actress. So I think it wasn't until after high school that I really started to be like, oh, I want to be an actress, and those were the girls that I saw.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to probably say two. I'm going to give you a movie and a TV show recently. I'm going to say the movie would probably be The Great Debaters, right? That was one movie that I just... Anybody that watched it, and big shout outs to Denzel Whitaker. He has Criminal on the On channel. He's a director and producer writer as well. So definitely make sure you're checking out his work. And he's in the new edition of the magazine coming out. So make sure you keep your eyes out on that. So that inspired me immensely to be like, I wanted to be an actor. Like so I have a vision board, right? And on my vision board, I have an Oscar on there and like a Tony and an Emmy. So I want to be able to get into that realm one day, and that made me that one.
Okay.
And then I would say television would probably be Greenleaf on the On channel. Greenleaf, I really have to say, they really give you some compelling performances. They're captivating. It makes you just sit back and say, I want to be on there. I want to produce things like that. I want to be a part of making TV and content like that. And so those are the kind of shows that honestly that have really got my temperature boiling, I would say, to get into the business and keeps me motivated. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I want to come back to Alexandra because you mentioned Laverne Cox, and I want to hear a little bit about your transitioning story, and also where do you believe that transgender actors are going in the industry, the future of that. Just touch a little bit on that.
I definitely feel like things are a lot different. Like when I first really got my shot was like in 2016. Like I never saw, like this was before Pose, this was before any of the other shows. Now there's lots and lots of trans actors and characters in regular roles. But back then it was just, I hadn't seen anybody but Laverne Cox. And so it was definitely a different time. And after that, I did not work, right? So like 2016 was great. 7 guest stars on primetime television. It was like, woo. Nobody talked about it, but we're not gonna talk about that. Black trans women on primetime. Nobody
talked about it. I'm joking.
Yeah. But it was like after that, nobody would hire me. Like I mean, it was just like I couldn't book a recurring role. I couldn't book anything after having this successful year. And so to me, I was noticing that like Hollywood was casting lots of trans roles, but they were either white or not black. And so for me, I was just like really down and out. I mean, my lights got cut off in 2017. Like I was working in a department store. Like, this is stuff that people don't talk about, but I'm like,
you working for a nursing home too or something?
I was working, you can let me tell you.
All right, you just throwing all that stuff out.
Did I read that somewhere?
Yeah. No, I was doing caregiving.
What had happened was...
I was doing caregiving and I was doing housekeeping.
Okay.
Thank you. Like getting recognized, like taking out trash at the super mall, like literally, like it was just like that's how serious it was. And so now I think things have definitely changed now that Pose is on television. And American Horror Story, and now they're starting to give trans actors of color. Yeah. There's one of my friends, Brian Michael Smith, is on the new 911 series. And so they're really starting to give trans actors of color, big opportunities as well. And like Empire is like my biggest opportunity, and people would think like, oh my gosh, you've been doing so much. And it's like, this is my biggest gig that I've gotten. And so I definitely feel hopeful that things are changing and that next year I'm probably going to be a series regular playing a non-trans role and everything's going to be fine, right? So that's where we hope to get to next year.
Can I jump in, like with that, and I don't know if he was going to ask, like, do you ever want to, like, as a trans, like, just play the role of a woman, and is that possible, or do you always have to play a role of a a trans actress in the whatever role that you play?
I mean, wait, say the first part again?
As a trans actress, is your goal to play roles as just a trans actress, like in the role is a trans actress in that actual role, or is it to be an actual audition for like a woman's role and be playing a regular woman and no one knows the difference?
Because the breakdowns come as trans.
Right. Yeah. You're going to get into a lot of trouble. You can't say regular woman. You got to say cis women. You got to say cis women.
Yeah,
cis
women? See, the viewers, okay, y'all. Let me talk to y'all for a second.
Going on here.
No, I'm kidding. No,
please excuse him for his...
No, I'm kidding. No, like literally, I don't believe in like crucifying people because that like it is different and like it's a teaching thing. Like, and you said nothing wrong. You know what I mean? But yeah, the goal is I just want to be an actress, right?
Right.
I do think the fact that me being trans has helped me a lot, right?
Oh, nice.
I mean, in terms of when it comes to those roles, it is a smaller pool of actresses as opposed to just competing with cis black actresses, right? You know what I mean? That there's a lot of competition. And I'm looking forward to that competition, right? I'm looking forward to going out for those roles and just competing and for those roles with everybody. So, but so that's the goal, I think, is that we just want to we want to act, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're Alexandra Gray. You're not,
Okay.
Sorry.
She catches...
Y'all too. I'm kidding.
She catches everything as a joke, honestly. Like, she's a funny person. I love that she hit us at all.
You saw me. I was like, Alexandra Gray.
She's silly.
But you want to be known by your name, not necessarily
no,
trans,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
So
that's definitely the goal.
That's the goal. I mean, that's what it should be.
Right.
Give me one of your favorite memories on Empire set.
Oh God. Okay, so Terrence Howard is wonderful, right?
Nice.
He's almost like my brother / my dad. Like he's really, really nice. And the first day that we met was our scene, the flashback scene from episode 8. And I had to, transform back into Melvin, who I was before in the show. And that was my first time meeting him in our first scene with him. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I was like, oh my gosh, he's meeting me and I don't look that good, But it was a really emotional scene. We cried together. He held me in that scene, and it was just so beautiful. And then the next scene was my big performance scene, so I had to get all glammed. I walked past his trailer, and he was like, damn, you cleaned up nicely. And I was like, well, thank you.
Right.
So it's just been wonderful. Like, literally, he plays the piano on set, and we sing together. So just from day one, like, he's been just so wonderful, and he's like a mentor, and he gives me such good advice. So it's been wonderful. I never would have expected that. So
that's so. Yeah, I haven't met Terrence, but I always get good vibes and energy every time I see him, or on TV and things like that. So hopefully he'll be in the studio soon.
That part.
So this is questions for both of you. Brookshire, we're going to start with you. You're out and about in Hollywood meeting everybody, right?
Correct. That I do.
Connection everywhere.
Right.
Is there anyone in particular you would love to work with or have the opportunity to meet?
Well, being in the position of running a streaming network, which is constant content, of course, and then getting into the investing world, I would say I would love to really connect with Robert Smith, that is also working with Deion Taylor over at Hidden Empire. Would love to connect with him, and also Brian Allen. I'm saying his name, Byron Allen. I think that their minds are in the right place. They have the financial means and the distribution channels to be able to really grow something in the backbone. And so I would love to partner, I would say, with these individuals, because I feel like we are in the same mind and wavelength.
Right.
They just they're further ahead. Everybody has to start from somewhere. And so that would be who I would want to synergize with, and to transition not only the on channel into another levels, but all of my other projects that I have my hands on. Because as you know, I started off as a talent manager in that capacity, working with best-selling books. One of my top authors was Dr. Joyce, that wrote Soul Food back in the day. So we have a couple of best-selling books that we have putting out there. Big shout outs to even Dr. Holly Carter, amazing woman that we're working together to try to push out some of the projects and the producing aspect on some of the things that we have going on. So I would say that, but I will say this. Usually if I see you and if I get a chance to get in your vicinity, we gonna know each other.
There you go.
Can believe that. That's just who I am. I'm a firm believer on making sure that I don't let opportunity pass.
Right.
If I'm aware and conscious of it being in front of me, and I would say that to anyone. Go after it. Go after it. I mean, you have to, because it's not promised a second chance. Some people come in LA, and I've realized that they may be here just visiting, or popped in, or plane could have been delayed, or whatever the case may be, or a layover, and they're just here for that moment. You want to get that opportunity, get the email address, make the connection, because you never know what that leads into, and it could be years until you might see that person again, if you see them again sometime. So I definitely believe that.
And you know what, I just was talking to one of my friends about like that, not necessarily in the context of like the industry, but we were at a restaurant in Pasadena, and the busboy was, gosh, he follows me on Instagram. I can't tell this story. Never mind.
Tell the story. Nobody knows who you're talking about.
Right. Well, it was like he was in the restaurant, and like we locked eyes, right, and like we just kept flirting with each other, right. And what happens is like obviously he's at work, so he can't necessarily be like, here's my number.
Right.
Can I get your number,
That
right?
part.
Some people will do that.
Some people,
because they don't like their job.
Okay.
But literally, what happened was, we're done eating or whatever. We're just sitting there. And I'm like, he's really cute. Like, do I just be like a boss woman right now and just be like, here, give me your number? But I didn't do that. So my friend went up to get some water or whatever, and I guess he had given her a piece of paper with his number to give to me. And she was just like, girl, you doing this is just too much. And I was like, no, like you never know. I would have never maybe seen him again, and that could have been my soulmate.
Right, you never know.
Now we went to Popeyes on our first date, but
y'all got that sandwich.
That might be my soulmate.
That sandwich, right?
Y'all
He
got
waited
that
in line
sandwich,
for you.
God.
That could be somebody's soulmate waiting them lines.
I forget it.
Now, what you do is you get that check, and then you write the number on the back of the check. I've gotten many numbers like that.
Oh, that's very true.
No experience like that at all.
Right.
When I used to bartend,
told you about
in
that,
my past life. So who is someone that you would love to work with?
Oh, God. I feel like I've been getting to work with a lot of people I've always wanted to work with. I mean,
That's
Viola
dope.
Davis.
Right.
I mean, like, literally, I'm just, like, pinching myself. Like, I'm just like, that happened?
How was that? How was that knowing
experience?
it was going to happen?
Right.
You know what? So here's the story, right? Y'all want the 401? Okay.
Yeah, come on.
So
Yes,
I
do it.
was in Chicago filming Empire, and this audition for How to Get Away with Murder came up, and I was like, oh my God. I literally did the self-tape in my shower in the hotel.
Yep.
Because that's all I could do.
Actors
Okay,
life.
for all those that
Thank
say they
you.
can't
Right.
do it, explain
You gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
And I booked it, so you know,
That
like
part.
it works. So I did the tape, and literally they changed all the names on the script, you know, for
Right.
confidentiality stuff.
Right.
And so I didn't have any idea who I was gonna have dialogue with or whatever. So when I got the role, I was like, oh my gosh, like and then I see the actual script with the actual actors who I'm going to be working with.
That part.
I mean, I get some of Viola, I get some of Rome Flynn, I get some of
Hey.
Asia Naomi King.
Come on.
Like, I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh, it was so perfect. And I love this show. This was one of my favorite shows on TV. And so to really get to be on that before it went off was like, insane to me. So
Nice.
How many times did you repeat calling her "you stupid"? Was it? I ain't gonna say that. I don't know if we can be explicit. But how many times did you have to practice that? Like, girl, let me say that one more time to you, see if I can feel it.
We got to say it a lot.
Right.
And she was like, girl, just let me have it. I had to call Viola the B word, in the last episode. So it was fun.
Yeah, one of my friends is actually the officer who handcuffed Viola, and he was like, I'm so scared. I don't want to break her arm. I don't want to. I was like, yeah, you're gonna be blackballed if you do that. That part. It's like that is just, it's crazy. But yes, that's an amazing compliment. So
yeah, and thank you, and her spirit,
her energy and spirit. Yeah,
you know, like because there's some actors who you'll meet and you'll be like, oh, okay, like it doesn't go the way you would hope. But I really didn't know what to expect. And from the moment that I saw her, I walked up to the makeup trailer. I was in the makeup trailer. She walked up. She's on her phone, and she just gave me the biggest smile. And I was like, oh my God. And on set, the most funniest person in the world, and we got to talk like girlfriends. She's telling her husband, "Oh, Alexandra's laughing at my ass." And I was like, "Oh my God,
that's dope. That is so dope."
Wow.
Well, I do want to take this moment to thank you both for joining me in the studio, and also shout out to Keven Undergaro and Maria Menounos for allowing me to come here week in and week out, sharing you these amazing stories that you don't get to hear anywhere else, in the nitty gritty. And also, thank you so much for Brookshire. You can find a full season 1 of Inside the Black Actor Studio on the On channel as www.onchannel.com. You can find the entire season 1. Go check it out right now. After the show, obviously. Check it out, that part. You can find it. So, basically, we're gonna get into some fun here. Okay, this is a special segment.
Is there shots?
I mean, this whole thing was fun, but yeah, actually,
we got vegan shots.
Can we bring in some tequila, please? Because that's my favorite now.
Vegan shots.
Vegan shots.
For my brother here.
They got some vegan everything. So.
All right, so this is a little segment of the show that is called fast questions. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you questions, and you're going to tell me the answer, the first thing that pops in your head. Okay.
Okay.
First thing that pops in your head. Brookshire, we're gonna start with you.
Boom.
What is your favorite sound?
The fan. While I sleep at night. It used to be the air conditioning unit because I grew up sleeping right by the air conditioning unit where my bed was, and I used to have to open the window up to hear that humming sound. They have, people call it white noise or whatever, but I like the sound of the fan kind of going in my ear. It kind of helps me sleep.
Okay. Alexandra, what is your least favorite word?
Oh my God. Regular. You're lucky I can't curse. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Regular?
No.
I was gonna say
let's go with regular.
That was a read.
She
was trying to read.
It was a read.
I'm kidding because you looked at me. You gave me that look. Regular.
Regular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What profession would you do other than your own if you had a choice right now?
Ooh, I probably would. That's a unique thing, because I feel like I'm in space where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Other than my own that I'm doing right now, can it be? I can't add to the question, right?
No. It's supposed to be the first thing on your mind.
Right.
I'm about to cross some things out and add some new lines to the question.
I'm going to have to change the name of the segment.
Right. There needs to be a time limit on this bad boy. Like, okay, next question.
10.
I guess it would be if I could do something else outside of this. Boy, it would probably. That's a hard one. I'm going to say
everything.
pass.
I mean, what else could he do?
You're the only guest that's going to pass this question. Anything. Teacher, doctor, nurse, lawyer, designer.
I've sampled so many things and over the years.
Damn
we go, Alexander.
Let's pass that.
You take this question, Alexander.
I would be. I'm kidding. I would be a lawyer.
Yeah?
I would be a lawyer.
Why?
That is my dream. I want to play a lawyer on TV.
Okay.
That would be.
You think people would believe
My
that?
client is innocent. He will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that
I think
that's
how to
like,
get away with murder get rubbed off a little bit on you. Okay.
Right. I'm gonna be better at this next throw out.
This next
Let's
one.
see.
Okay.
Let's
All
see.
right. Alexandra, what profession would you not want to do?
I would not want to be a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Wouldn't want to be a doctor.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. School and
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Brookshire, what is something that turns you on?
Creatively, there's a lot of turn-ons.
Just what turns you on? Think first thing.
Okay. A really good book, an audio book.
Okay.
A really good audio book.
Alexandra's face is hilarious.
You're supposed to be talking about
I'm telling the truth.
like hair or like curve or like.
If audiobooks turn you on, then hey,
I asked for details, and I got anything first. You said first.
It's the first thing, yeah. First.
A really good audio book, preferably motivational or business success.
I think this is the most fun I've ever had in this segment. Because it's all over. Alexandra, what is something that turns you off?
Why you get the good question? I'm kidding.
Just
What
answer.
turns me off is I think I don't know. I think like egos or like guys who like guys who just like are all into themselves. That kind of turns me off.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Brookshire.
You asking the same question?
No.
Oh,
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
Alexandra. Tay Diggs or Denzel?
Oh, Denzel's such a good actor. But I would go with Tay Diggs.
Hey.
Like we talked
He's
about, just a
younger
romantic thing. But Denzel, because he got a lot of money.
I got
Denzel
that
done
money.
went out her age racket.
He got that money.
Sugar daddy, okay?
He got that money. All right, and this question is for both of you, okay? If heaven exists and you meet God, what would you like him to say to you? Brookshire?
Well done. You completed what I needed you to do on this earth, because I do believe we're here to do something uniquely great that God has placed on the inside of us, and each person has that gift to do it. It's all about finding it and having the courage. Courage, Maya Angelou said, having courage to be able to go after it and actually pursue that gift to where the world can have it. So I would say God saying, well done.
Amen.
And I guess I would say the same thing, but I would flip it and say that what I would want to say to God, right? What I would want to say is I would want to say thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for giving me my life, because it's so unique.
Right.
My life, it's like we can never wish that, I had rich parents or my mom was there, because I'm living my best life, and I could not be here if I did not go through 8 foster homes, if I did not have to transition, if I did not have to have my family disown me, like if I didn't go through any of that pain, I would not be here. So I am so thankful for every experience. Oh,
That's that.
Both of y'all. Both of your responses right there.
She
See,
is a mess.
I love asking. Hallelujah.
Funny.
I'm just trying to
I
let you
love
know.
asking that question because
You are funny.
it's amazing to hear the responses.
What's your response?
Oh dang! I've never been asked that. No, I would love to hear God say, "You've done a great job in changing lives."
Nice.
Because I believe that we're all here to, like you said, be that great influence on one another and help each other live the best lives that we can. We're here to motivate each other. And I don't see a lot of that happening, but we need to change the game.
Right.
Especially within our community, And so this is one of the reasons why I created this platform, so people can hear your stories and where you've come from and know that it gets better. And that where you are now, your circumstances don't describe your life. And so there's more after that.
Yeah.
So that's what. Thank you for asking.
I
That was
appreciate
the first time.
Can I just ask her one question that has just been on my brain going back to Empire? Most people, first few seasons, got a chance to, sing, obviously do duos with Jesse. He's not there this season. How was that for you? Have you had a chance to chat with him?
Jesse.
Or what? Tell us about that. Because, obviously he's not there this season. Do you have...
Hey.
You can't ask me any questions about sex. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, he is so sweet. I did get to talk to him and just, send him love.
Nice.
I sent him love, and he's just been so supportive of me on the show and just been like wishing me so well.
Nice.
So I really love him a lot. And even though I didn't get to work with him on that set, and I met him years ago, but I feel his presence missed, right?
Yeah.
Like I miss him, and I didn't even work on the show before. But he's wonderful. It's been wonderful. And also I'll say is that, I've never seen a black trans woman on primetime television singing before, right? And so this, to me, I feel like, take myself out of the equation. I'm like, this is a moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like a moment
own it
to
and
really
it.
say, and for Empire is a show that is a predominantly African-American show, and to have a trans storyline is just really major.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
very
It's
major.
risky. It's all of those things, and it's just been so beautiful and to get to sing. So
Nice.
Yeah.
it's been wonderful.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Definitely. Big shout outs to Jesse.
Yeah,
He's an
Jesse-
old friend of mine. So
Jesse has
definitely.
been talked about a lot last season inside the Black Actor Studio, and great love goes out to him.
Yeah.
Shout out. So we're gonna close the show up with our quick game here. It's called Guess
Another game?
That Actor. Okay. Yes.
Oh, hell.
Guess that actor. You're gonna be asking each other. You're gonna be asking. I'm gonna be asking
God.
either one of
I
you
need my good friend here for that one.
two questions each. Okay.
Can we describe the actor?
No.
I guess you're doing that, right?
So, Brookshire, starting with you first.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This actress was the queen of a mythical African country.
Aaliyah. Queen of the Dam. No.
No, that's wrong.
I'm gonna sit over here with you. Move over.
Angela Bassett.
There you go. Wakanda forever. Let's go.
Wakanda.
That is
Yes,
very good,
right.
very
But she was the queen of the dam. Aaliyah was in there.
But that wasn't no African country.
Who knows? We got to go deeper in the story.
There was a lot of white vampires in that movie. I don't know
We
about
just
no,
got to
I'm
go
kidding.
deeper in the story. That's all
All
I'm
right,
saying.
Alexandra, your turn. This actress said, "Everything you've done to me has already been done to you."
Oh, I got this. It was Whoopi Goldberg.
Hey.
Nice.
One of my favorite movies and books.
And
Nice.
books. Nice.
I commend you for reading the book.
Does that turn you on?
Audiobook. You didn't say audiobook.
Audiobook.
You said you read the book, so no.
All right, Brookshire, here we go. This actor had a terrible training day.
Let me see. What's that young man's name?
Stop.
Denzel Washington. Did I say his last name right?
Yes.
I
Okay,
mean,
I don't
you
know why
got to
it
make
sound
these
right for
questions a
some
little bit
reason.
more tougher.
I don't know if I can make
Right, for
any
him,
tougher.
okay.
Please don't.
Five
Give me
Spanish
the intermediate beginner's level, please.
Oh man. All right. You ready? Mm-hmm. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. This actress is a legend and told the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman.
Oh, Miss Cicely Tyson.
Hey.
I would
Oh,
have gotten that
Cicely
probably
Tyson.
wrong. Even
You would've
though
got
now
that
that
wrong?
you said it, I would have gotten it right.
Oh, Cicely Tyson. She
Yeah.
had one of the best episodes the first
She's,
season.
oh my God.
When she first
Amazing.
came in that first season, oh my gosh.
I was blessed enough to hear her speak at Saints Abiding Church in Chicago.
Oh,
And it was-
nice.
Man, I met her. Incredible.
She's a legend.
But yes, okay, good job, guys. You did really
you.
good.
Yeah,
You're really
very
good.
Let me ask a question to you. Has there been any particular star, anyone that you've ever met that made you kind of feel kind of like shell-shocked or like, star-stunned? For me, it would be probably Eddie Murphy when I first met
Yeah.
him. That was the person. I meet a lot of people, but it was just like, oh my God, that's Eddie Murphy right next to me.
I don't really get starstruck much. I think the highest I've been there was Morgan Freeman.
Okay. Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, I just look up to him so much. He's an incredible performer. I mean, and then just becoming what he was at the age of 54. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would get really crazy if I met The Rock.
Oh,
because I've been a fan since I was 5.
That's
WWF,
a big dude.
Like
right.
I would just.
His
I don't even know.
career is very impressive. The way that he has transitioned from television into
he's a
film.
box office
The
star.
way he's done it.
The charisma, most electrifying man. It's sports entertainment. Like
that's what's next. Is that I'm ready to see myself at the box office
in
an action movie.
You know what I mean?
But you just now mentioned just before I know we were running out of here. But you just you're one of the movies shorts that you were in nominated for a student Oscar award and possibly an Oscar, right?
We won the student Oscar.
Correct.
And we are on the short list for the Academy Award.
There you go.
Right. I mean, so it's happening.
It's happening.
I mean, I've been hearing her talk for a long time, so yeah.
Right, and then Gay Times magazine, top 10 trans actors to watch.
We could be here all day talking about
what I mean?
I'm kidding.
She loves to be talked about. So
but we don't have all day. And I like to thank you. I like to thank both of you so much for joining me today. It's been amazing. We had fun.
Yes.
Hope you all had fun out there watching. You can go check out, remember, the entire season 1 of Inside the Black Actor Studio on the On channel. Also, if you're watching this right now, don't forget to like, thumbs up, share, subscribe. We're on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you can hear podcasts and my voice. You can stay tuned and watch that, folks. Go ahead and tell everyone where to find you, Brookshire.
Hey. Yes, again, y'all know. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening to me. I'm your boy, Mr. Brookshire. You can find me definitely on Instagram, which is I Am Brookshire, Facebook, Brookshire Lafayette, and definitely all of our content on the On channel, like he said, www.theonchannel.com. And then, of course, if y'all are submitting anything y'all got out there, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Send it in. Go to the On channel, send it in, and we're looking to have it and looking for you, definitely.
And Alexandra?
Well, I am. To this camera right here. Okay, I had one job.
Hit your mark.
One job, girl. Well, you guys can find me on Instagram at Alexandra Gray Official. That's Gray with an E. People do spell it wrong in articles, and I'm just like, y'all gotta do better. I will catch it. Alexandra Gray Official. And you can find me on Twitter at @1AlexandraGray as well.
Awesome. Nice. And everybody, you can find me everywhere at I Am Danny Royce. This is the last episode of the year, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Have a great holiday and a great new year, and we will see you next year inside the Black Actor Studio. Love you all. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed.
Awesome.
Staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.